Hey everybody, welcome back to another video and day 15 of Vlogmas. Today Sal and I just want to share with you some of the books that we've read, that we enjoyed, and that we would recommend to you. I'll start off with one of my favorite books, which is Chop Wood, Carry Water. It's a short book, easy read. I actually don't have the physical book. I listened to it on Audible. But it's about a guy who goes to learn how to be a samurai and his process of becoming a samurai. And the lesson in the book is how to enjoy the process of doing something and the everyday little tasks that might seem irrelevant or boring. So the highlights of the book are finding purpose in everyday tasks, mindfulness, and perseverance to be able to accomplish your goals.
Yeah, I've read that book also, with Christy's recommendation, and it's definitely influential. The idea of just being very process oriented, and sometimes the process is boring and it's the same things over and over again, but it's those little things that you kind of become a master of monotony, a master of the boring, because the basics are boring, but they will take you very, very far.
And I don't think I mentioned the author, and so it's Chop Wood, Carry Water by Joshua Medcalf.
One of the books that I've read that's really cool, I try to read it once a year. This is a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. This is a really cool book insofar as like adjusting your mindset to not be so afraid of like failure. And it talks about like a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And it really tries to define what each of those are. I used to think that like, yeah, I had a growth mindset, but because, well, I want to get better at stuff. I want to get better. But having a growth mindset is more about like being okay with failure and taking failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. And so sometimes like because we're afraid of failure, we end up not trying. And you might hear friends say that in school, oh, I could have done better in school. I could have been top 10%, top 5% valedictorian if I had just tried. It's like, well, why didn't you? Well, you didn't try because you were afraid to try. You were afraid that if you tried and failed, that would like challenge your identity and stuff. And so it's a really cool book to kind of like help you face that. And so some things people have a growth mindset with and some things they have a fixed mindset with. And it's just trying to like recognize that and trying to change that when necessary. So I think that's a really cool book.
The next book for me is The Hungry Brain by Stephen J. Guyenet. Not sure if I'm saying that right. This book is like not an easy read.
Super nerdy.
So it's really interesting on how our brain can affect how we eat and affect our weight. Some of the things they talk about are genetics, the impact of highly palatable foods, right? So really good tasting food and how that affects our brains and then in turn makes us want to eat more. And because it's like a reward signal in our brain, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're on a diet, it's helpful to reduce highly palatable food and eat a little more boring. That's why sometimes, yeah, like that chicken, rice, and broccoli thing actually works because nobody wants to eat a ton of chicken, rice, and broccoli. But you put a whole pizza in front of me, I can eat the whole thing and then grow a second stomach for dessert. But again, that's actually the signals in our brain that make us want more. And it's kind of like a whole survival thing. It's really interesting. And then, of course, also just how our environment can cause overeating. Becoming aware of those things can help us make decisions because you just kind of have that, I guess, in the back of your head of like, okay, well, is this, me, really being hungry or really wanting this, or is it like just a thing that my brain is doing to me? And like, it just makes you feel more in control of the situation.
Yeah, definitely the first, I would say, 2 or 3 chapters, you kind of got to like grind through them because it's talking about the brain, different parts of the brain, all of this like biological mechanistic stuff. Once you understand how it works, it's really, really interesting because then you notice it like playing out when you're going out to eat or going to eat. And I want it, and it's happened more times than once where I was like, I want more, but I know I'm full. And it's just, and I'll say it out loud, it's just my brain is doing that thing where it's telling me to eat. But like I'm not, like, you're not tricking me anymore. Like, I know the trick, right? I know what you're trying to do, brain, and it's not going to work on me. And so it's just like, it helps you feel more empowered when making those decisions. Another book that I've read that I mentioned in another video is The Muscle and Strength Pyramid by Eric Helms. There's two versions of this. So this one is for training. There's another nutrition version. I haven't had a chance to read the nutrition version, but I love that book because it breaks down like the science and concepts of training and programming, like in a very easy to way to understand. Like, so it's very easy to understand. It gives you a lot of really good guidelines and frameworks to work within. And so like, then you can just look at the situation of the client or the athlete, what their goals are, and try to like build out programs that fit within this framework. And then even with that, there's never any hard and fast rules. So it's not like, oh, you have to do it like this. It's just like, it gives you the framework, the starting point, and then from there you just adjust, whether through your own coaching style, through the athlete's goals, or just things that you've noticed and responded from. So that's a really cool book. If you're interested in programming, you're interested in like just learning more about how to take control of your own program, like that's a great book. Highly recommend to any trainer or coach or anyone who's just generally interested in why some things work and some things don't. That's a really great book.
The last book for me is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. This one, it's been a couple years since I've read it, but it's, you know, based on like stoicism, and it's just about that overcoming obstacles and viewing them as opportunities. And, you know, it's just another book to help you have a mindset shift around challenges that may come up. And the challenges could be with anything. You know, it can be fitness, it can be nutrition, it can be, you know, personal challenges, you know, like at work or something like that. And just changing that, you know, perception, or that having a different perspective to these challenges when they come up.
Yeah, you might recognize that name, Ryan Holiday, on Instagram. It's like the Daily Stoic. This one, actually, when I was pulling out the other books, I came across this one, and I really like. I haven't read it in a bit, and you'll see like I have like notes and tabs and stuff in there. I like putting tabs in books. I like physical books. I'm better with like audiobooks, but physical books I do. When I take a book seriously, I like having the physical book, so that way I can put notes and tabs and stuff. And so this one is Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. This is by Robert Cialdini. Anyway, it's just a book similar to like how to make friends and get people to like you and stuff like that. It's just a book on how to like talk to people, how to kind of like connect with people, how to influence people in a way to where like in a positive way. Because sometimes like you just don't know. So if you're like socially awkward or you're never really like good with talking to people or anything like that, that's a really good book. So if you know me in person, like you know, I'll talk to anyone. I'll try to make anyone my friend. But like I've gotten a lot better at that through practice of a lot of the things that I learned in that book. So like I naturally want to be friends with people and naturally want to be friendly, but like the skill of how to do that, you know, is something that you can develop. So if you ever feel socially awkward or you find it hard to get to know new people and stuff, it's a great book. You'll learn a lot of great stuff from that.
Let us know your thoughts on any of those if you have read them. And if you have any recommendations for us to read or check out, let us know, because you know, the New Year's coming up. I know that I would like to get back into reading. Mm-hmm. We used to have a lot longer of a drive, and so that's why a lot of these books I read them they were audiobooks for me, because I had more time in the car and I was able to listen to books. But now that our commute has gone down to just minutes, I find myself not listening to any audiobooks and then not even reading. So I really want to get back into that.
Yeah, we just definitely need to block out some time every day to read a little bit.
Thank you guys for watching. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.